Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, where in the cosmic turnabout, we've started to turn things about. Positions of people in the boarding room lounge, because, of course, while our two unconscious members, one dead, one unconscious, of course, were, well, laying down, there seemed to have been a gunfight going on overhead. Now, supposedly between a possible third assailant or Solomon himself, but what we're postulating currently is that it was between Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, one using a .1 bullet, the other using .38. We're gonna find out more as we accuse Yuri. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the .1 caliber bullet here. This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? No! Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his medal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? Ah! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? It's pretty stylish, to be honest, I think, personally. Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. That makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness being in the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time. Here we go. Ah! His handcuffs! You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away! You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How? The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos's fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. My third person just disappeared, like in one of Trucy's magic tricks. Order! Order in the court! Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes. It was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for the third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. At the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person has crumbled. No! It's over. Yikes, the judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person who arrived came by the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well. Let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
And so, the accusation finally comes around.
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos.
What?
What?
Order in the court, I say! Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that, and saw a suspicious figure, who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
Ah! I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! It's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir! A magnificent shot!
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept.
Cosmos, you've told a lie in this court once again.
I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy's called in reinforcements!
Earth to Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence!
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person Aura Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival! Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us.
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .1 caliber gun. I say it wrong every time. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, The evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge.
Brace for further impact!
Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. So if we're saying that the bullet hit him, these weren't warning shots. These were actually intended to kill. These just got lucky. They just got incredibly lucky. The bullet found in the victim's oxygen tank, it was fired from a .38 caliber gun. I think it's this one.
Take that!
The .38 caliber gun found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos's medal. If we have that ricochet mark on the medal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for.
No! The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship! If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank?
It was the .1 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director?
No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth.
If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth.
Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? Ah! But the cosmos revolves around me! Ah! Someone get me over this thing! Order! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning?
I bet you're dizzy.
Phew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth.
While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the medal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm.
Ah! Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No. You've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding.
Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, it ended? Huh? I guess we had a recess.
Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the evidence, the defense, and the evidence. Both things. They're claiming that you were this third person. Ah! Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly, or very quickly?
Ah!
The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this.
Fine. I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm. When she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene.
What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, Are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you.
No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall.
That is an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was to protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense if you told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes, and?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me.
The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. And that you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't.
But again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please.
So we will get it. What I really witnessed.
Oh, a shot! As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and well, the launchpad 1 door and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
And well, sounded unsure. You were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured, or your guilt.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a .1 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm called up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate, but what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and stomach out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director in Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter-evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why didn't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Ah, here we go. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss! I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a greater mind. A greater mind? A great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. So it comes to the harder parts. The finding out what statement I want to look at. And I can pinpoint straight away. So the testimony's all there. I always find these hard. I don't think I've messed up on one yet. But these are just so much harder. There's so much like... could be and couldn't be. So as I try to enter the lounge, no emotion here whatsoever. Kind of makes sense. He's just entering a room. Whoa. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. Would be angry because he's had a gun fired at him. Would be surprised a gun fired at him. Sad because a gun's fired at him? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. To be honest. I hid to avoid getting shot. Good. That thing must be very nippy. Segue. Again, the same emotions still remain. So we got surprise everything else. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. Okay. No emotion. Now, anger and sadness may go away, but I'd be surprised. I was near the elevator side door. Again, there's no emotion about that. And well, Launchpad 1 door. Sadness might be based on, I don't know. Sadness might be based on the fact that the launch pad itself, so the launch wasn't going to happen and he's the guy. I don't know. Why is he sad at a door? And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Okay, no, wait a second. We've been spotted about several doors and opening doors, but only one provoked an emotion as well. But to me, the most glaring thing of the lot here... Yeah. This makes sense, like all this cacophony of emotion. This makes no sense that he's not surprised that a gunman has vanished into thin air. You'd be not only surprised, but you'd be terrified when you like, where's the guy with the gun that tried to just shoot me gone? It's like just as bad, like, you might feel relief, but I think before I'd feel any kind of relief, it would be I want to know where they are or where they've gone, or definitely to know they're no longer in that room. I'd be surprised and I'd be terrified. So do you think it's here? I'm gonna go with surprise.
Got it.
You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished in thin air.
I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen, usually.
And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence.
What? Why are you...
I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right?
What? No. Of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. and the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the 7th door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to.
Maybe. Or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip out through the 7th door?
I highly doubt it, as you recall right after I entered the lounge. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the 7th hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her.
And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
Ugh.
It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him.
Okay, back in the Matrix it is.
Time to pinpoint our way to victory. So nothing's been updated? Has anything changed? Because there's the one other obviously suspicious one. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Should have been surprised. I was near the elevator side door. He doesn't care about it. This door provokes sadness. And this door provokes nothing. It's got to be this. This is a completely... First of all, we're missing an emotion. You know, it should be present. Now we've got one which we can't explain for being present. Which is the whole point of this stuff, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door.
The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? On what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
I'm most certainly not.
Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there?
It's open, wasn't it? Ah!
Why are we speechless? Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes, just what I wanted to see.
Dropped a little bit.
Presto changeo, less discord. It looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. That'll make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launchpad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? It's gotta be through here.
Take that!
The culprit went through the launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes. I mean, no. Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid!
That's a tactician, you are not. But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. We can just figure out what the director is hiding about the launchpad 1 door. We should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies.
That door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you?
That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge. Meaning, there's a way he could have easily gotten past the security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Oh, can I see the other evidence? Well, it's either going to be Solomon, or it's going to be Clay Terran. I can't remember what the result was of the fingerprint analysis if I even looked. Oh god, it's one or the other. Well, it's a 50-50 and it's not that big a penalty. Should we start off with Mr. Not Very Conscious? I don't even know. Would he be a bit easier to move around? I have no clue. Or do we start with the dead body? 50-50. If it's not him, that is.
Take that!
That's...
I think we're right. On the right track, at the very least, as we continue on next time on Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. Where will this lead to? Because we still haven't found or the actual killer at this point in time. If we're now somewhat on Yuri's side in saying that you didn't do the killing. I'm a bit confused at this point. Though, to be honest, I still reckon maybe he did it. I don't know. But then if no one else... who was this? Who was the killer? I guess the only way I can find out is by continue on. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.